Hello. That's echo. Okay. So now sound. We have sound, but we have echo. All right, I'm going to have to deal with that. We hope everybody is having a great night. I just have to go into the system here and make sure everything is copacetic, which honestly, currently it's not. Check, check, check. Because this one here is giving me some feedback. Well, if you're just joining in, I am Chris. I am the Disney Baker, and we are going to have a blast tonight. We're going to make German apple strudel. And if you've never had German apple strudel, just sit right back, get your note tablet, because this is definitely, you know what I could do? I don't need to hear anybody. So I could just turn myself down. How about that? Is there an echo now? Somebody give me double thumbs up if there's no echo. And I don't have my iPad set up yet. All right, so I'm going to walk around and hopefully I know you'll be able to hear me. I'm going to grab my iPad so I can see what I'm doing. Anyway, so what we did is we already preheated our oven, and we preheated our oven to 350 degrees. I'm sorry you can't see me right now. I am behind the scenes. We preheated our oven to 350, and then we took it to 375. And I'm back. So we took it to 375. That's what we're going to bake our apple strudel. We're going to first off, we're going to make a crumb. And what I did is I went to the normal bakery right up in town here, and we say in town because when you grow up in going to little lake places in Pennsylvania, and they go, "Oh, you're going to town." You go, "Yeah, I'm going to town." So I went into town and I was looking for some day old like crumb cake. Uh, they didn't have any, so I asked if they had any cake layers that they were selling. Because what you can do is you can take a cake layer and you can add your own like cinnamon sugar to it. And once you do that, you can just put it on a cookie tray and put it in the oven. And I'm gonna show you how to make that. We're gonna make that fast. So I'm gonna be moving quite quick tonight because the prep for this is gonna take at least 25 minutes for the prep. The bake is really I'm out of the picture. The bake is at least 40 minutes. So we're going to spend a little bit of time together tonight. So I'm glad you're here. I just wanted to prep you and remind you that we're going to have some time together. All right. And we're going to zoom in on ourselves here and say hello. Well, hello. I am Chris, the Disney Baker. Welcome into my kitchen. This is the Baker's Layers kitchen. And we're going to touch right on that. And we're going to see our chat. And that's because I like being in contact with my guests so I can read what they're saying. And again, this is only my big third bake from the kitchen. And I'm just going to scroll through real quick. And oh, I had that note. I'm going to say it right. Duke's mom. I hope I said that right. So I wrote it down. Mike, hey, Mike Beecham, what's going on? Francisco, it's good to see you. And Katie Y, always good to see you. And whether or not with Jess, Jess is my producer tonight. Everybody give Jess a little heart out there. Give her some love. Send her a couple roses. She's doing an amazing job. And Chris Dides, good to see you. Welcome aboard. And Paul Engel, good to see you. And Lisa L, great. And Bruins fan, welcome. Hey, Bruins fan, nice to see you. And we do see Marlon from Precise Signs. Precise Signs. Precise Signs did a fantastic thing the other day. Um, hey there, and you know, Sebastian the Crab. Sebastian the Crab. And you know what goes with that? Jeanette, Jeanette, Jeanette. I know your name, Jeanette. So anyway, that's fantastic. So my microphone is working, and I don't have any feedback anymore, so I can't hear. So that's fine. Because I don't need to hear myself. You need to hear myself. But what I'd like to do is try to get this other camera up and running. And I don't like being out of the picture, so I'm going to try to throw it together um, in the picture with you guys because it's going to take me another 5 minutes. For some reason, my Canon didn't want to play well today, so I'm going to have to go over to a different cam and throw some electric in there with it because cameras do like electricity. It's the only way they're going to run. So what I like to do, and if you saw my setup when I was at Pete's, the setup at Pete's was pretty awesome, and it took me, that stream was 2.5, 3 hours. And I didn't expect it to be that long. It just wound up being that long, that setup. So, with that being said, my setup today wasn't that long. But, like I said, my one camera just didn't want to jive today. So, what I'm doing is I'm running off of StreamYard. If you're familiar with StreamYard, that's fantastic. And if you're not, it is a streaming service for if you're doing live productions, which I am. And what I'm about to do is switch into a USB from a video capture card. So I'm going from my camera to a video capture card to a USB converter to C. Now, if that's confused you, one thing I would suggest that you do is reach out to me in Instagram and ask me what I just said, and I'll get back with you and we all can talk about it, hopefully. And I can help you out. So, what I'm going to do is come up now and just jump around here. And Sebastian says, "What?" All right, so now like I said, my mouse is not working correctly today, so um, I have to go up to my computer. All right, it's still not coming through. That is very odd. Let's try this again. Now it's not reading it at all. All right, so you're gonna lose my voice for a second, guys. I need to switch something. Hear me? Hello? Hello. Yep, that should be good. All right, I'm gonna mute myself again, but I'm still gonna make a call here. Mhm, mhm. My mic is working now. Great, excellent. Okay, then I'm gonna hang up. Then I'm gonna hang up. But if you need to talk to me, you're gonna have to call me in case I screw something up like I normally do. All right, Jesse, do you have control of all the cameras? If you do, why don't you see if you can bounce around for me? I'm still trying to figure out why I don't have any picture on this camera. That is really weird, and that's bugging me. All right, which means um, I don't know what that means. It just means that I didn't do something right. Got my right connection. I don't have a lens cap on. I'm getting a picture. Sorry, guys, that's my mug. Thanks, Jess. Now I know that camera's working. All right, we're gonna try to switch this around one more time, and we're gonna cross our fingers because we gotta get moving here. Nobody wants to sit there and be bored. There's still no connection. Hmm. That's weird. All right. All right. Seeing that I can't pull a rabbit out of my hat, guys. We're just gonna have to go. Just got to change things up a little bit. So I'm back. So anyway, what we'll have to do is use the use the iPhone. We're going to use the iPhone for the down, and then we're going to use. You know what? I'm just going to bounce out of here, add a new one. Click into that. I'm just adding another StreamYard here. We'll just reset it and see if it works. And we're going to cross our fingers. Nope. I tried. All right. Well, you know what? Nothing beats a try but a failure. So, all right. Okay. So, Jess, do me a favor. Go ahead and go to the other camera for me for a second. I'd appreciate that. And we're just not going to use this camera. We're just going to go with two tonight, guys. And I'm sorry for keeping you waiting. And I will try not to do that in the future. But all I can do is apologize. Yep. That's the link wire that I had just doesn't seem to be working. There's only one more I could try, and I didn't really want to do this one, but I'm going to do it. Jess, can you go to the um, Mac camera? It's going to be the one probably pointing. Oh, no, the other one. Jesse, can you hear me? Do-do, do-do, do-do. So I have an old 1080p, and I can plug that in and see if that'll work. And if it does, great. Anyway, I appreciate you guys hanging out. If you decided to hang out, I appreciate it. Thank you. Um, I'll be darned. Look at that. How about that? All right. Now we're cooking. And then it took an hour. Let me see if I can get my screen here. Woohoo! Oh, hopefully everybody stayed. And if you didn't, I totally understand. So I know people have things that they have to do, and you don't want to just hang out and for some old baker. And say, what's he doing? I don't want to sit and wait for him all day. All right. Well, look at that. All right. So, oh, boom, boom, boom. All right, Jess, here we go. All right, Jess, I sent you a message. I know you're busy. All right, so so this one here is definitely cam 3. All right. And we're going to go ahead and enter the studio with that one. Great. Just stream. Add stream. There it is. That one, that one, that one. All right. And we got all look at that. Ding ding ding. Oh, we have two twofers. Let's fix one of those. Let's go to this one. There we go. All right, Jess, it's all you. All right, so main camera is boom. It's this one here where I'm talking to you. Boom, boom, boom. Hello, everybody. I am Chris the Disney Baker, and we're gonna make some stuff. Okay, here we go. So we're making puff pastry. We're gonna use puff pastry first. We have our apples. All right. We have our apple core. We have a whole cup of raisins, golden raisins, and we've been soaking them in warm water. The reason you soak your golden raisins in warm water is so they can absorb the moisture, and then that way they do not dry out during your bake, and it keeps your stuff moist. All right, so what we're going to do first is on the down camera that we have here, the handy dandy the camera right here. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that one. All right, so what we're going to do is, yeah, either or. They work out. So we're going to take 4 apples. You know what? We're going to take all 6. We're going to take all 6. All right. So the one thing I did talk about the first time is making making anything is can get kind of messy. So you get yourself an apron. This is a couple. I have a couple aprons hanging around, but I like this one because it was white, and I'm gonna be dealing with flour today. So tighten that up. I'm gonna walk over to the sink here. I am gonna wash my hands, and I do have my sink has my soap water running already warmed up in it. All right, and yeah, we're gonna refill that because that's getting kind of low. All right. And so we use golden raisins. We're using Granny Smith apples. Okay. So we got our Granny Smith apples here. We have our raisins off to the side over here, soaking. We're going to reach into the refrigerator and we're going to pull out we're going to use phyllo dough first. I like phyllo dough, so we're going to use phyllo dough, but we're going to keep it in the refrigerator until we're ready to use it. All right, because the apples are going to take a little bit and our crumbs are going to take a little bit. So let's get the crumbs actually in the oven first. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and just turn my apples over here, get them out of the way. I don't know what's better to see here. That's a good shot right there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to go over here and we're going to pick up our donuts that we got earlier. You say, why did you get donuts? You say, well, because donuts make a good crumb. Let's make sure we refocus that one in. That's much better. I wish I had another light out there, but apparently I don't. So donuts make a really, really good crumb. If you get a cake, cinnamon cake donuts, they can be day old, they can be fresh. It really doesn't matter. If you get them, just take them apart. Meaning, well, what do you mean take them apart? Make them. I'm trying to get a light here. Make them. Crumble them up. And we're going to put them on a bake tray. Once we get them on a bake tray, we're just going to put them in the oven for a little bit, and we're just going to dry them out. All right, right now I do need some more light. I didn't have enough. I want to make sure everyone can see what's going on. So I'm just adding this light back here. We'll put some light on the subject, as most say. And this is for that cam, which is not being used. And boom. All right, that's much better. Much better. All right. Not on me. But we're going to want that just right down on the product. There we go. That brightens everything up. All right. That brings some light on the subject. Okay, great. So we've got our cinnamon cake donuts here. And what we're going to do is we're going to get 2 of our, we won't need 2. Sorry for the noise. We're going to get our cookie tray here. And these cookie trays, you can pick these up at, turn my volume down just a little bit, my mid down. And you can get these at Costco or Sam's Club, or I think you can even get them at Walmart now. So what we're going to do is we're going to, hey, happily ever yachty, what's happening? And again, I am just so behind on who's here. I got to be careful. All right, so Jess is here. Precise Signs is here. Birdwell's here. Welcome, Birdwell. Good to see you. Happily ever yachty. Thanks for being here. All right, so you're just going to take your donuts and just do like that. Just put them on a tray. And I got 6 of them because that's all they had. And we're going to take our flour, and we put our flour in our really pretty Miss Mini cup here. And the reason you want the flour is because cake donuts will tend to get a little, the sugar will get it'll draw the moisture out of the donut. Okay, it's going to draw the moisture out of the donut, so it's going to get a little sticky with the sugar. And all I'm going to do is just get them in my palm and just break them up. Okay. And I appreciate you being here. I am Chris, the Disney Baker. I am a professional baker, meaning I bought a certificate online that said I am a professional baker. And you can get that at the Disney Baker at youtube.com. No, actually. So I'm going to take these and do a little bit more sifting in my hand, a little bit more flour. And again, the flour is just helping it not stick to my hand. And hopefully that's a look that you guys can see how I'm doing that. You just put them back, just roll it back and forth and push. The reason I'm making some crumbs is it's always good to have crumb when you make your apple strudel, because once you start cutting your apples, as you start cutting them, the cells in the apples so moist. You know, you've eaten an apple before, it gets, oh, that's so moist. What happens when you make strudel, though, it gets too moist. So what I like to do is make a crumb mixture and use that crumb mixture along with the filling. Okay. Now, actually, this isn't it's not too wet, but I'm still going to put it in the oven for about 5 minutes, maybe 5-10 minutes, just to dry it out just a little bit. And like I said, I already have my oven preheated. We're just going to drop it in there. Hey, Google, set a timer for 5 minutes. Look at that. And Google is such a good friend. All right, we're going to get some more flour. And what I like to do is I like to put just enough flour into a container. That way I don't waste the flour, because once you put your hands in and out of it, it gets all yucky. All right, here we go. So a lot of people say, well, what do you do? Do you core your apples by hand? Do you use the grandma method? I do not use the grandma method. My grandmother was amazing at coring and peeling apples. Me, not so much. But do take the stickers off. They're not tasty at all. So I did get Granny Smith's, and the Granny Smith's apples were, I believe they were either $2.99 or $3.99 a pound. I think $2.99 a pound. But you definitely want to get a Granny Smith. You want a nice tart apple for your apple strudel. So if you joined me when I was at Pete McDevitt's house, and we did our bake there, and we made the cream cake cupcakes and the cream cake cupcakes, and we made the cream cake black and white cookies out of the same mix. Thank you for hanging out at that. That was a lot of fun. So most people don't know that you can just take a regular old peeler and just peel your apples like you do your potatoes. Most people don't know you can do that, and it's a lot faster. You know, and I'm going to be breezing around. So again, we appreciate you. We did have a bunch of winners. I believe we had Ian as a winner, and we had I think Jill was a winner, and I forget who our other winner was. But those items that they won, they're going to be shipped out this week. Oh, when I came back, it seems like whenever you come back from vacation, there's always something special that pops up. So we had something special pop up that we had to address here at the homestead, and we took care of that. And I went out today, and I took a day off and went to Hollywood Studios with my friend Gonzo, and we spent half the morning in Hollywood Studios and had an amazing time. Just you got to have those times just to relax, just to unwind. You know. So anyway, so let's talk about what we're going to do. So we're going to make 2 different kinds of strudel the same way. We're going to make them with the apples and the golden raisins, and the cake donuts that we're using for crumb. I did ask the bakery for a piece of tray liner, or what they call as parchment paper, and they were very nice, and they gave me a piece, and I have it sitting over there. So we're going to use phyllo dough for our uh, first uh, apple strudel, and then we're going to use puff pastry dough for the second one. I have both of those thawed out in my refrigerator, and I'll show you the packaging. You can get anything that I use, you can get at your local grocery store. You know, if you're Giant Food, Safeway, Piggly Wiggly, um, wherever, Publix, wherever you guys shop. Just again, just keep in mind and know your camera is not on fast speed. That's just the way I roll. That's how I roll. Even the donuts, just get a 6 pack of cake donuts with cinnamon. I like the cinnamon sugar ones. That way I didn't have to add cinnamon. I will be using granulated sugar today, and I also will be using a little bit extra flour and some straight cinnamon. Now, again, depending on what your taste is, if your taste is heavy, if you like heavy cinnamon, add more. We're going to be using, I believe, 2 teaspoons per strudel, along with a quarter cup to a half cup of sugar. And again, depending on what your sweet tooth is. I did add a little bit of stage lighting here. That's why you see a difference in the lighting. I just didn't think it was bright enough. So I'm going to grab, after I peel this last one, I have one more after this one. I'm going to go ahead and grab my iPad and keep it to my right so I can read chat while I'm doing some stuff. So if you have any questions, do me a favor. Just put, at the Disney Baker. So it's italicized so I can see it. All right. Hey, Google, turn off timer. My water seems to be leaking out of my sink. I don't think I have my plug in there, right? And that timer was for my cake donut crumbs. We're gonna pull those out of the oven. My wife says I gotta stop saying so I have to think about what I'm saying, and I have to talk a little slower. Yeah, me talk slower. I don't do a whole lot of stuff slow. All right. I sleep slow. There we go. There we go. That's nice. Look at that. Now my oven was 375. Look at that. That's nice. Look at that. The oven was 375. We'll go zoom, 375. And all it did is that dried them out. All right. So what I'm going to do is just lay them over here on the stove on top of a bowl, so the ambient air can cool that down. My house is currently at 71 degrees because I'm cooking. And the temperature is still at 375. And I understand if you guys can't hang out the whole time. I get it. Also, I wanted to grab my iPad. Here we go. All right, so I got my iPad next to me. Swing it right in here. So you guys are right here next to me. Look at that. There you are, right there. All right. So if you have any questions, just please address them out to me, and I'll be happy to answer those. Happy Haunt, what's going on? Have a wonderful day. What's happening? It's good to see you. Thanks for being here, Mar in Memphis. Hello, Mar. Mar and I go way back. What, a year and a half now, Mar? So, Central Florida Novelty and Gifts. Hello, Central Florida Novelty and Gifts was the supplier of the items that I opened in my box opening the other night. So hopefully you will have an opportunity to check out their website. They are a family-owned company, and they sell Funko. They sell Loungefly. They sell a bunch of amazing things. Check their website out and see if there's something there you like. Give them a, a thumbs up and let them know that you are checking them out. So I have an Apple core. Okay, so most Apple cores, they stop pretty much right there. So the best thing to do there is just put your thumb right there. Boom. And this comes out the opposite way. So we did a box opening and I showed everybody what I got from you guys. We looked at some pins that I had been collecting and I did two giveaways. I did two really cool giveaways and I'll tell you, I was about to do a third giveaway and that's when Marlon from Precise Signs sent me a message and said, "Hey, why don't you give away this on your stream?" And gave Marlon makes. If you haven't seen any of the signs, if you've seen Pete McDevitt's sign, Adventures of Gonzo, Adventures with VP, uh, Central Florida Novelty and Gifts. They have these amazing neon looking ish signs that Marlon makes with his company, Precise Signs, and he makes an outline of Mickey. It's absolutely beautiful. And he sent me a picture of it. And then I clean my hands. I can show it to you. And he said, "You can give one of these away." And I thank you very much for that. That was just so amazing. Um, that's the cool thing about this community. So much amazing things sometimes happen that you all don't know about, because people are humble and they just do it. But then when there's things like what Marlon did, I just like to, just shout it from the roof of my house that Marlon gave away an amazing Mickey Mouse. It's just pretty cool that he would do that for me. So again, I thank you and I appreciate it. So, and I was on the Mickey Bunch this week for Two Truths and a Lie. That was a lot of fun. Um, Pirate Red and her first mate, James Ryan. We had a lot of fun with them. And, all right, so now we have our apples. Okay, that's a that actually is that it's not too blurry. Um, that's that one. Can we get Jess? Can we add that camera and the Mac? The Mac's here. Can we add both? And then do away with me. See if you can just do two. Just do this one and this one. And while she's working on that, I'm going to go grab my handy dandy knife. All right. All right. Well, there's the main one. See if we can do 2 and 3. There we go. Cool. That's excellent. Thank you. See how that's different? Now, I'm not complaining because at least I have a camera to show you this angle. But look how much different the camera angle is on the Mac. Hold on 1 second here. I know what I think I didn't do. I don't think I changed the picture ratio. So I'm going to stand here for a second. I'm going to look to see if I can change the picture ratio on this. There it is. I'm just go over here and change my picture. There we go. And we're going to see it would definitely go to 1080p. And then close it out. Yep, it's okay. All right. Maybe we'll just see if we can get it a little closer. Bring this down a little bit. There we go. There we go. We'll just tuck that wire there so it doesn't look like it's all crazy. All right, boom. All right, great. I like that. There we go. And we'll turn this a little bit more this way. There we go. All right, great. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get our bowl, and we have two bowls that we're going to use, just because we're going to make two different apple strudels. Two different meaning not different, but different meaning. One's going to be made out of puff pastry, and one is going to be made out of phyllo dough. Now, if you can guess pretty good, go ahead and guess. Meaning, I like to make my pieces julienne. Just like that. So I'm going to just take my apple, cut my apple in thirds down, and then we're just going to do julienne cuts. Or you can just start slicing your apple any way you want. You can do wide slices, it's okay. But just remember, as you go to roll that, we're going to roll these up. As you roll up that apple strudel, bigger pieces tend not to want to roll up. So I like baking. I tell you what, when I went to Pete's and I baked the Pete's, I tell you what, it was like somebody just reignited a fire in me. I was like, this is, now I know why I did this for 40 years. It was just fantastic. It's not that I don't like what I'm doing now. I do like what I'm doing now. Making magic is pretty awesome. And that, that'll take me into, different places within the Disney company too. So okay, so I'm going to scroll down and see if I had any questions. I like how the you guys are talking. Hey, what's crazy? The crazy Russian hacker trying places. I didn't see that, Mar. Oh, that's fantastic. Happy Haunt reached out to Precise Signs. That's great. See, that's what it's about. People doing business with people. You can make small pieces like that. You can make chunks. Again, it does take a little bit of time. But as I was saying before, yeah, I like baking. I like baking a lot. And I actually I was just when I was at Pete's, we had a discussion with another channel. So uh, you may be seeing another channel share baking with me. We're going to be hopefully getting together and baking together. And Jeanette says, Mara Memphis, I've been all over the place tonight. Lots of fun on Wednesdays, but I'm about to call it a night. I understand, Jeanette, and I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry I was so late. But you know what? You want to hang out, great. You can't, and you have to work tomorrow. I totally understand. And that is the cool thing about this community. There's so much going on. There's so many different times of the day. You can always find yourself entertained. I am truly humbled by my recognition from uh, Pete McDevitt, his recognition, his YouTube recognition series was this past weekend, and I was nominated and recognized um, for being a positive in many different ways. in this YouTube community, and I thank all those that nominated me and voted for me. And I I will tell you, I don't take that lightly. I do apologize for tonight, where I should be more on top of my game here. Um, and I'll get better at that. But that's my channel. That has nothing to do with our community. That's just me being a procrastinator and being ADD. So that's what I am. Good night, Jeanette. It was good seeing you. If you see Tina McNeil, tell her I said hello. It's an inside joke. But anyway, yeah, the recognition series night was fantastic. We had a great time later that night. I showed up a little bit later on Chris Dad Builds. He had an after recognition party on his channel. That was really nice to see everybody coming in and saying hello, and being appreciative. Um, Gonzo and I talked a little bit this morning, about um, you know, it's not just being it's it's not just about being recognized. It's about knowing that there are people out there that are doing what you're doing or like what you're doing, and they just wanted to say, "Hey, we think you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. And by the way, we recognize you. So hopefully this will be a way that it'll help you continue knowing what you're doing is a positive out there for other people." So thank you. Hey Jeannie, what's up? Saw Jeannie today. We were bouncing around. Jonathan Chong, welcome in. Space Mountain Dave, what's going on, Dave? I tell you, if so, this is my third um, live bake. And what I said, I believe when before I left Maryland, is if I get enough followers that want to follow me doing these bakes, then I'm going to reach out, and I'll be announcing. I'm going to be doing a bake, and we'll be baking something. And if anyone wants to bake live with me, meaning from their house, we'll make that happen. And the one thing you'll definitely have to have is you'll have to have uh, you don't have to have a wireless mic like I have, but you do have to have a computer that has a good mic system on it. You do have to have a computer and or a camera that has a good picture. You don't have to do multiples, because if we get so many, we can only have so many. Um, I'll probably be running at least two cameras, um, and that will leave room currently right now. I am still with YouTube. I think I can do either 10 or 12. Um, but what I'll do is I'll post that. And if you're interested, you can get back with me. And I'm currently working on a website. Um, I have one of my friends working on a website for me. I'll put the recipes on the website. That way you can get all of your ingredients together. I'll go through and have a um, recipe of how we're going to make the item that we're going to make, and then we can all make it together. Some items will take a little bit of prep work, meaning like I did the crumbs. You could do that ahead of time. You could do the apples, slice them. You could do that ahead of time. Have them all ready. These are things that I wanted to have already, um, but I didn't. And maybe in the future we'll definitely do it that way. All right, so we're cutting these Granny Smith apples, and these are Julienne, just because they work better when you're rolling up your apple strudel. All right, so melodies, what's going on? Rarely Creative Travel, welcome. Tina Marie's Place, Pete McDevitt, no strudel, no, no strudel. Pete, I bet Pete's probably sitting at his desk waiting for me to come in the door with a hot plate of strudel, 2 scoops of ice cream, and probably some hot cocoa. Maybe next time, Pete. So, and again, ladies and gentlemen, a big thumbs up and a big smiley face and appreciation for Pete And when you see also Chris from Dad's Build, they did a fantastic job at the recognition awards night. That was fantastic. And again, I thank you, Pete. Thank you so much. And again, all those that nominated me and voted for me, thank you. So I get asked questions, especially when I'm making magic and I'm talking to other coworkers. They go, "Well, what do you do with all your food? That you're gonna make up." Um, well, all the food that we actually made at Pete's, everyone ate, and I don't think there was anything left. I think everyone ate everything up. But here, my wife and I, we don't eat too much sweets, but there is a fire station within about 3 blocks outside of our community, and that's where um, one of these apple strudels is going to go, and the other apple strudel I'm going to take up to our clubhouse tomorrow morning. And there's a morning group in there. Um, they play, I think, cribbage, or I don't know what they play. They're playing something, dominoes or tiddlywinks. I don't know what they're playing, but I thought I'd treat them to a nice breakfast treat. And again, the community I live in, they do things like what I'm doing. They teach people how to make stuff. They have a nice big kitchen, so I might get involved in that and go bake with them. But yeah, Pete, I got a late start. You know me. It's the way I am sometimes. But anyway, but yeah, this is our kitchen. We like our new house in Florida. This tabletop that I'm currently working on my island, it's going to double in size probably next month. We're going to get another base cabinet and get a new top for this, so it can be bigger. I'm going to. I like my wireless mic that I'm currently using, um, but I'll probably go to ambient mic, which will actually be hung in the ceiling, and they'll be retractable. So when I'm not using them live, they'll just retract up into the ceiling. So, and I got a new camera. Well, new to me. I got a new camera, and I'll show it to you guys later before we go off. I had an opportunity to go to um, a buying place for cast members called Cast Connection, and I bought a multi-purpose cart that had a conference follow camera on it, and it's really cool. It follows the person who's speaking in the room, so the camera actually moves itself when it hears sound. So, and I'm going to mount. That's going to be mounted in here in the kitchen. So as I'm moving through the kitchen, it'll follow me. So, not to say I'm not going to have my stationaries, which I will, but I'll also have that one. So, thanks, Katie. Yep, I appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? It's just, I've had a couple friends say, if you like doing this so much, why don't you start your own bakery? Because honestly, um, sometimes your businesses run you, and I've had enough baking experience to know that when I moved here, if I didn't bake for Disney, I was going to bake this way. And um, I've got a really cool um, couple of ideas. And right now we're at 11 o'clock. We're over at an hour in, so I understand if people have to boogie. Please, if you go, just come back, check it out on replay, see how they turned out. If you would like the recipe, just contact me on Instagram, and I can get it out to you. It's not too difficult. Um, to remember. It's just a couple items. Um, but what I'm gonna is pins. I make pin boards. I love to collect Disney pins. Well, I said I'm going to do a bunch of different things. I'm going to have my weekly. Wednesday is going to be my bake night, and for right now, I think what I'm going to do is go every other Wednesday consistently, and that's the key, to be consistent. So I want to be consistent. Wednesday, it's a fun night out there. I like baking late. I do make magic in the morning, so it's okay with me. But I'll bake late for those that want to bake late, and those that can't, they can catch it on replay. But when I start doing my lives with other channels joining in, right now, Wednesdays are working out well for me right now. Will that day change? In the future, maybe. We'll see. I'm catching up on this. Oh, thanks, Tina. I appreciate that. All right, let me know when you're under the covers, Tina. I have something to show you. not not that way, but I still have something to show you. Pete's got a question. That was funny. That was funny. All right. So I don't see any questions in chat, so that means everybody. um. Again, Granny Smith apples. I used. Pete wasn't here, but I used 6 cake donuts that had powdered cinnamon sugar on them. And what I did is I crumbled them up the best I could with my hands on a cookie sheet, put a little bit more flour on them just to soak up some of the moisture that the sugar had drawn moisture out of the donut. And then I put them in the oven for about 5 minutes at 375 degrees, and we dried them out a bit. So what we're going to use the crumbs, the cake donuts for as a crumb agent to dry up. This recipe calls for 4 to 6 ounces of flour, and I don't mind using flour, but flour tends to give your product that's like that dry taste in the back of your mouth. It's not good taste. All right, so apples are done. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. All right, I'm gonna take our apples. We're gonna divide them up into 2 containers, and that way we'll have equal amounts of apples in each container. Trying to find a container that will work best. And bakers out there, I'll tell you guys, if you see a show and you watch what they're using, you can see I got 2 cutting boards here. Okay, I don't know. Do most houses have 2 cutting boards? I don't know. I have 2 cutting boards. Oh, that's one thing I wanted to do, but I don't have to. So I won't. What I was going to do is I was going to weigh my apples, and that way I would have equal apples. But I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is just going to kind of divide them up like that. I'm going to get my big blue bowl because this other bowl is not big enough. Excuse me. It's not big enough. So, and again, there we go. So we got the blue one, and we got the clear one. And the cool thing about the apples is if you don't use them, you can eat them. Just put them in a bowl with, some cinnamon, sugar, and just sit there and eat them. Apples are great, and they're good for you. They do have a lot of sugar in them, so watch your sugar intake if you're watching that. I'm just dropping stuff in my sink that I can address later. All right, all the knives, we're done with those. The peelers, we're done with those, and if you didn't see, we use a regular potato peeler. All right, so now we have our apples. All right, so here's where the magic starts happening. Okay, so what the directions say is to, while I'm over here, I'm going to go ahead and drain uh, my raisins a little bit. And what I did is I took a whole cup, actually I took a whole cup of raisins, and I soaked them in hot water, and I just let them soak, and they've been soaking for over an hour, to where the water has actually gotten room temperature now. And I'm just squeezing the excess water out of the raisins off camera over at the sink, because I'm going to come back over and see you guys in a second. All right, got the crumbs, I got the raisins, I need my sugar. There's my sugar. There we go. Great. Sugar, raisins, here I come. All right, so here's the raisins. This was 1 cup of raisins. I use golden raisins. I like to use golden raisins because they don't look like little bugs in your strudel. Shouldn't have said that, but so they look like that sometimes. All right, so here's my cinnamon sugar. Here's my ground cinnamon. Okay. Now, if anybody has ever baked, oh, hold on, let me refocus. Sorry, guys, hold on. Whoop, there we go. That's better. All right. So I did say I was going to show Tina something. Hold on a second. I'm eating an apple slice. All right, Tina, I wonder if you're comfortable. Here you go. My mascot. This is Seymour, everyone. Seymour, yay! Seymour, he's my assistant. So we're just going to put Seymour over here out of the picture. Okay. And let me grab my napkin, wipe off my hand. Okay, so here we go. The recipe calls for 4 to 6 ounces of sugar. Okay. This is my handy dandy sugar container. It's got my Disney characters on it. Oh, goofy. Oh, hiya, pal. All right, so we're going to take our sugar, and currently in here I have a half cup. And if you look on the side of your measurer, and all your measures say it, if it's a cup, it's 8 ounces. If it's a half cup, it's 4 ounces. All right, so we're going to do just that. We're going to take 4 ounces and a little bit less, because the crumbs that we're using have a little bit of sugar in them. All right, so we don't want it to be overpowering sweet. So we're just going to take about maybe 5 ounces, almost full. We're going to dump that in there. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Right there. We're going to dump that in there. We'll put our lid back on here. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. Now, depending on how much cinnamon you like, depends on how much you're going to use. If you're a cook, you put this much salt, this much pepper, and you're making a pot roast or whatever. Do the same with your cinnamon sugar. But understand, you can make it bitter if you add too much. All right, so what I've done is I probably put about a teaspoon and a half, because I don't like mine too strong. All right. That's ready to go there, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my raisins. Here's my raisins. Okay, these are golden raisins. I'll show you the box. And again, I'm not using anything that you can't find in the grocery store. All right, these are sun-made golden raisins. They're delicious. I like golden raisins because I just don't like dark raisins. Okay, I'll put a handful here. Put put a handful here and just divide up the rest. Okay, and again, like I said, if you don't use it all up, it's okay because you can eat it for breakfast or as a snack later. Right? And you're all gonna say, well, when's the good part come? No, it's on its way. Okay. Now, I'm not going to mix these up yet. All right. The reason I'm not going to mix them up yet is because I don't want to make that slurry juice at the bottom. All right. So what I'm going to do is just put these aside, and my pan is here and it's ready. Okay. I am going to grab my cup. I'm going to use the measure that I had with the eggs, with the not eggs, with the raisins in it. All right, so you need an egg, guys. You need to make what they call egg wash. All right, so you take one egg, okay, and try to keep one side of your shell, okay, and drop your egg in there. And take the smaller side of your shell, save it, fill it halfway with water, then dump it in, and then throw it away. Taking this over, I'm going to put it in the sink now. And I'm going to mix that up. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to make an egg wash, and that's just one egg. You can use a fork, you can use a knife, you can use a little whisk if you want. All you want to do is incorporate that water in with that egg. All right, there it is. All right, so I have that over here onto the side, and I'll put my knife next to the sink. We don't put knives in the sink because that's how people get cut. All right. All right, so now I'm going to I have my flour. I'm going to put my raisins back. And I need my whole bench now. All right. Here's the fun part. Everybody's been waiting for this part. All right, so let's see. This is here. So let's see if I can get a better angle on that by moving this back. There we go. Let me grab a higher angle on this one. There we go. Look at that. All right, I'm going to move Seymour out of the way. All right, because I need my whole bench. Well, I call it a bench. Okay. All right. So here's how we're going to play. This is the fun part. All right. Let's use the phyllo dough first. I'm going to reach into my refrigerator and I'm going to grab my pack of phyllo dough. Now, if you were with me on my second bake, I made little apple puff pastry and phyllo dough tarts in a cupcake container. This is that phyllo dough. All right. The thing with phyllo dough, if you remember what I said, you have to move fast with phyllo dough. All right. So one of the things we're using today is going to help us with our phyllo dough is I did get a piece of parchment paper from the bakery where I was. I said, "Can I have a piece of parchment paper?" They said, "Oh, sure." And I'm going to grab my egg wash, put my egg wash here, and I'm going to start with my phyllo dough. Phyllo dough is a lot of layers. All right, so once you unroll it, you got to really use it up really fast because it's going to dry out super, super, super fast for you. All right, so we're going to try. We're going to take 2 or 3 layers at a time. If they don't stick, and they're breaking. All right, so this one's gone. We're not going to use that pack. I have this pack. So what happened is that got old and the air got into it, and then the moisture got into the layers, and they just got stuck together. Oh, yeah, Philo does good stuff. Hey, Debbie, what's going on? Welcome. Glad you could make it. Triple A Sparkles, what's going on? All right. So here's our Philo dough. I'm going to save that packaging just in case I have anything left. All right, so if you notice, they really wrap it up really, really good to keep that air out. Okay, so we're going to turn it around and we're going to do our best. The air starts your roll. Okay, there's the back end of your roll. And now what you can do is just go like that. All right, and that's the whole thing. All right, here we go. Now, some of these can be thin. All right, so what we can do is 1, 2, 3. There's 3. Okay, and some of that's stuck, but we're not going to pay any mind to it. There's 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, this is nice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of my egg wash, make that go like that, just so this can stick to it. Yeah, well, I'm just spreading it out a little bit. All right. Nope, egg wash. I need 3 more. I like a lot of layers on my strudel, just because it holds it a lot better. So I'm going the first one with 3. I'm peeling it off really slow. Okay. So if you go to your local bakery, you can just ask them, and just say, "Can I have a piece of your tray paper or parchment paper?" They'll know what you're talking about, and let them know what you're doing. Say, I'm making strudel, and I don't want it to stick." All right, there we go. All right, so that's our first layer. All right, so now what I'm gonna do with this is I'm just gonna get a little bit of, and you got to move quick. Get a little bit of egg wash on there. Go one way. Don't drag back. Go away because your layers are here. I'm going to take my cinnamon sugar. Now this is cinnamon sugar, and I'm just going to sprinkle some cinnamon sugar on. Okay. Now I'm going to go with my next layer. Now this layer, these are going to be 3 also. 1, 2, 3. And there's always a little bit of moisture there. I'm going to take it. I'm going to stretch it just a little bit. Understand, guys, that this is fragile. See, it started to tear right there. Get my egg wash on there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Give it a little bit of a pull. Drop it right on top. And again, do your best. You can't do anything wrong with this, guys. Just have fun with it. You know, kind of like kids that go out and play baseball. They want to be like Cal Ripken. They want to be like, Wade Boggs. They want to be like, it's the great pitchers like Jim Palmer. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a couple years. All right, so there we go. All right, so I have a couple pieces here left. I'm really not going to put. You know what? How many pieces do I have? All right, let's see if they'll hold up. If they'll hold up, you know what? I'm just going to put these right in the middle this way because I don't want to waste them. There we go. All right, boom. Put a little moisture there. Here we go. All right, so we used up all our phyllo dough. All right, for one strudel. Okay. All right, so now here's what we're going to do. We didn't need our flour, but we do need our crumbs now. Here's the crumbs that we made earlier. Listen, can you hear that? See, it got crummy. All right, put them in the oven for 5 minutes. That was perfect. Just gonna sift them between my fingers a little bit. And what that's gonna do is we're gonna mix these with the apples. Only with the one apple that we're gonna make first. Okay. So let's get our bowl of apple. Let's get our tray, and let's go with our big bowl first. All right. So here's our big bowl. So how much are you gonna put in there? Well, you know what? We got a handy dandy measure here, and this is a half cup measure, souffle cup. So I'm gonna take 1, 2, right? Because it looks like I'll have 2 for the next one. And all I use this for is an agent to make it solid. So we've got our cinnamon in here, we've got our raisins in here, we've got our apples in here. And honestly, from the look of this, we got our sugar in here too. This is nice. But what I think it needs is it's going to need a little bit more cinnamon. Let my water run in my sink here again. I'll fix that drain tomorrow. All right, so we're going to get some more cinnamon. And again, you got to work fast. This is straight cinnamon. Just going to put another coating on top. And while I have it open, I'm going to put the same amount more on the other one. And I am getting a little parched. Get myself something to drink. I want to thank you all for coming out. I appreciate it. Thanks for sharing out the stream. Thanks for hitting the thumbs up. Thanks for chatting amongst yourselves. All right, I'm checking out the chat here. Oh, it's okay, Debbie. No worries. So I think for my next, I have another monitor that I'm not using. I think what I'm going to do with that next time is I'm going to set that up. Instead of using my iPad, I'm going to go ahead and use that monitor. All right, here we go. This stuff's starting to dry out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my apples and go right across here, just like that. Look at that. Boom. Now I'm trying to keep an eye on this other camera so it stays in focus. All right, so when you get to your end, push your apples, if you can see it, push your apples up against your hand. You have to straighten a couple pieces out, that's fine. Because you want your apples right at the end of your strudel. Oh wow, I'm gonna have a lot of apples left over. That's okay, I like apples. All right. Did I measure? Nope. It's a lot. And I have a lot left. Oh. Turn the water off. All right. So if I were to guess, I'd say there's probably at least 3 cups, 3.5 cups in here. Okay. Put a couple other pieces on top. I'm going to move my apples out of the way. I'm going to just get my hands in. Oh, this nice hot water is wonderful. All right. So I did the harder one first, guys. All right. So I got my crumbs. All right. So what's the one thing I want to have next to me now is my pan. This is the tray that I'm going to put my strudel on to bake it. It's the same width as my strudel. So once I get it up and wound up, all right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my parchment paper. I'm going to roll my parchment paper, okay? I'm going to roll it and fold it over, and there goes my phyllo dough. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and kind of crinkle it up, and I'm going to just push it down and roll that phyllo dough under. So it just tucks right under. Now what I'm going to do is just keep rolling this and then keep it going And as I get to the end, I'm going to slow down, get my egg wash. Hope you all can see this. I want to egg wash that phyllo dough on the end really good because I want that to stay. Some of my phyllo dough came up off my paper. And I'm going to pick this up, move it to here, take my paper off. You know what? I'm going to turn it diagonal. And there's one of your apple strudels. Just like that. Bang. Now what I do is I get my egg wash. Gonna egg wash the top of it. Really good. I made these for an Oktoberfest a couple months back. In October. Take my cinnamon sugar. I like cinnamon sugar. Coat the top lightly with cinnamon sugar because cinnamon sugar is sugar. Okay, it will burn if you put too much on. Right, I'm just going to scooch this up into the corner a little bit. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Is that not nice? All right. So some of my phyllo dough did come off onto my paper, which is fine. It's not going to hurt anything. I have a couple of apples here. We'll put back in the bowl. All right. So now this one's done. We're going to take this sheet pan and just set it over the side. And now what we're going to do is we're going to leave this for later. We're going to use that later, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to get our puff pastry dough out. And then our puff pastry dough and phyllo dough, guys, dries out real fast. All right, so now we are going to get our puff pastry dough out. This is our piece of puff pastry. Okay. It comes in a box that looks like, where did I put the rest of it? Oh, here it is. Puff pastry dough sheets. Just like that. Puff pastry dough sheets. Okay. The phyllo dough is in the same section. Okay. It says phyllo. All right. Phyllo dough. You can get these at your local supermarket. It's super. All right. Now what I'm going to do is flour. Flour here is our friend because we don't want anything to stick. Dust your bench with some flour. Take your puff pastry dough. Wait, there's no flour waste. All right. Now, take your rolling pin. I used a small rolling pin last time. Okay, I'm going to use it again today. All right. This has been refrigerated. It's okay. You can't hurt it. Okay. It's pretty stiff because it was in the fridge. It comes folded 3 times, like 1, 2, 3. Like 1, 2, 3. It kind of folds like that. So, and it has paper in between it. So when you thaw it out in the refrigerator. Do not microwave it. Do not put it in the oven. We just started to stick a little bit here on the corner. Okay, so this is 12 inches here. Okay, and then it's 2.5 inches and 2.5 inches. So 12, 13, 14, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 inches. All right, so we want it, we don't want it too much longer than this. So that's about 13 inches. We do want it a little wider. I mean, a little longer. We want to be able to roll our strudel up. Puff pastry dough likes to get puffy. Okay, just like that. All right, now I used to have a bench brush, a big industrial bench brush, and I don't think it's been unearthed yet. Nope. Excuse my backside. All right, so we're just going to just brush off the little excess flour. We're going to get uh, our baker's bowl knife, plastic knife here. We're going to get all the excess flour up over here. And we can lightly just brush that off with our hand. Smell-o-vision. Yeah, I wish I could do that. Tina, smell-o-vision would be cool because in a few minutes, man, once that hits that oven. All right, so there we go. Okay. So now that we moved it around a little bit, we're just going to square it off. Okay, and you want the longer piece this way because you want those layers rolled up. You know, you're already 13 inches that way, so you're fine. You know, if you wanted a measurement, (17) by 13. Sorry, not the most cleanest thing to grab, but I did have it local. It was right there. Just rinse my hands off. So what we'll do is when we're once we get this into the oven, we'll do some Q&A and we'll talk a little bit. If you want to come in and ask some questions, I'll definitely throw you the link. If you want to come in and say hello, I can throw the link out to you. But I don't like doing that while I'm baking, just because I'm trying just to stay focused. And everybody knows I'll say, there goes the chicken. All right. So if you think you can roll it up by hand, by all means, leave it on the table and roll it by hand. That's okay. And we'll roll this one by hand. And if we do another one, we'll use the parchment paper. All right. So here we go. So now what we're going to do is something that's just a little bit different. We're going to egg wash our edges. Okay, and what that does is as it rolls together, it basically glues the layers as they roll. Okay, you could do the whole thing if you want. You know, leave a little bit for the top because I don't want to have to make another egg wash. Okay, you can get your cinnamon sugar. Don't put cinnamon sugar on your edges, though, because it'll act like flour and it won't stick. All right. All right, so there we go. So now here we go with our apples. Wow, this got nice and gummy. And again, if you want just a small one, use a couple apples. You want to make a couple, use a couple more apples. All right, I got this container here. There's our other container of apples. I'm going to go ahead and put the remainder of the crumb in there. There we go. And we're going to use our blue bowl to mix that in because it's just bigger. We'll save our plastic bowl for later because that will get a lid on it, and then our leftover apple slices and crumb and raisins can go in the fridge so we can eat them tomorrow. I'll take some for a snack to work. There we go. And again, the reason we didn't mix the crumb in or the flour in and all that before is because we didn't want it to become a liquid paste at the bottom. All right. So, and again, why I made these julienne is just for this reason here. You can Just come in when you start. You notice I'm leaving about 2 inches here. Okay, come in 2 inches, and then what you want to do is push your apples right to the edge. That way, when you cut that piece, there you go. That's a good, I'd say 3 cups, 3.5 cups of this. Okay, so I'm gonna move my apples away. I'm gonna taste them. It tastes nice. All right, there we go. All right, so, um, what, Tina? Hey, what? Hey, Kamoa Chris. I don't get it. Hey, Indiana Chris. All right, so we playing it. Okay, I don't get it. Okay, you know. Okay, so I just had a blonde moment. No offense. I just had a blonde moment. I have my iPad here. I'm looking at my screen. I'm looking at my StreamYard screen, and I'm looking at the chat. It's hey, Chris, what's going on? It's spelled Kakamora. Oh, Kakamora. Oh, that Chris. Got it. So, Addy Family Adventures. Addy Family Adventure Chris, did you hear who I met the other day? This question is for Chris. All right, you're gonna roll that up just like that, guys. Right, stick those apples right in there, just like if you're stuffing your Thanksgiving Day turkey. Just shove it right up in the old puff pastry. All right, we're gonna bring our tray over. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most definitely. I'm gonna turn this, guys, because it looks like I'm gonna need more room. Yes, sir. I met your daughter, Heaven. She's a very nice young lady. We met in the tunnel. I heard her voice before I actually saw her, and I'm like, I know that voice. She's very nice. She's very proud. Looks like an apple crumb burrito, right? Second. Sorry, guys. I had a cough there. I have a mute button. All right. So now we have two. Okay. So we're going to go with our egg wash again. All right. Cinnamon sugar, like we said before, lightly. Now this is 35, 40-minute bake, guys. And I know you're going, oh my gosh, 35, 40-minute bake. What are you doing to us, baker? It's already midnight. Well, 35 to 40-minute bake. All right. So it's going to go in the oven. We did preheat our oven to 375. All right. We did use the middle area, and we're now going to put this in 375 into the middle for, let's see, that we're going to slide it over because we're not going to put another one in with that one. So we've got, hey Google, set a 35-minute timer. Okay, 35 minutes, and we're starting now. Yeah, it's my buddy. My buddy Google. He works so hard for his money. He works hard for the money. Dun, 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 dun. Give me a second and I'll find out what's this. Baker, you had a question earlier that I think you missed. Oh, I'm sorry. Dun, 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 dun. I didn't see my, I don't know if that works on mine. Oh, hey, the Disney Baker. Squirrel. Yeah, squirrel, right? Right, Mar? Sorry if I missed that. Did you already explain the difference between strudel, crumb, and crisp? Okay, so what's an apple crisp? Uh, good question. So, hmm, let's see. Let me look at something. What did we call apple crisps? All right, this is your piece of puff pastry. There it is. And by the way, a lot of your directions, if you want to like make um, brie and stuff like that, there's some instructions on the back. You want to get your asparagus out there and um, an apple crisp. Okay, were the way we made them were made a little bit different. Um, Here is a another piece of puff pastry. This is how it comes. Can anybody see that? It comes folded with the paper liners in between so they don't stick. All right. So what you want to do first off is get it in some flour. Okay. And if you came in late, I'm sorry, but I was late. I'm glad you came in. All right. I am Chris the Disney Baker. Thank you for joining us. If you are watching this on replay, please leave a comment, and if you have a question, I can definitely respond. If you shared it out and gave us a thumbs up for a like, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And if you like the content and what you're watching, please subscribe to the channel. I'm a baker of 40 years. I do collect Disney merchandise. I collect Disney pins, and I make Disney pin frames. All right, so apple crisps. Apple crisps can all be done in a different way. So we'll make some apple crisps the way we used to make them. Let me just push my button here. DDM every time he yells at his Alexa. That's funny. Ew, asparagus, right? Makes your pea green. It's like a cherry crisp, but with apples. Wow, Chris. I tell you what. I was gonna say that, but I'm glad you did. It is. It's an apple crisp, but with cherries and a cherry crisp, but with apples. Right, correct. All right, here we go. All right, so we've got this here. We've got a good view. All right, here we go. All right, so this comes square, and what we're going to do, we're just going to roll it out. And you know what? I had thought about this earlier, and I was like, well, I don't know if I'll make crisps. All right, so basically, what we made a crisp was we would roll this out, okay, and then we would egg wash the whole thing, and then we would mark it as squares, and then we would just take the squares and just fold them over, and make like a pocket, and then we would flip that over on top of itself, egg wash it, make diagonal cuts on top, put cinnamon sugar on it, and that was a crisp. We used to make apple crisp, cherry crisp, blueberry crisps. Right? If you want me to make some of those, I'll make some of those. But we have to have at least 3 thumbs up in the chat for me to make some apple crisps. I'm just going to set a 15-minute timer to check it to see if I need to turn it. Sorry, that's what I was doing, guys. I'm still learning how to bake. Okay, look at all those thumbs up. Great. Okay, great. And so you can send them to me. Well, if you're not too far. All right, so we're gonna try to get 6. Try to get 6 out of here. I do have another whole thing of uh, phyllo dough, but it's frozen. Oop, 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 oop. A little bit of again, flour helps it from sticking. And do I make this look easy? Because I'm trying to keep my layers even. Yeah. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just collect my flour with my baker's bowl scraper here. Somebody asked in the last stream if I could, if they could get one of these, and I did reach out to one of my friends who still works with a bakery supply company, and he said he's going to do his best to see if he can get me some, because somebody liked how well it cleaned up the bench like that. Look at that. All right, so now we have sort of a rectangle. All right, good. All right, and the baker is always prepared. All right, so I have this. This is my pastry cutter. And then this camera is pastry cutter. I don't know why they put a scalloped edge on this because it really doesn't do a whole lot. Okay. All right. So how can you measure? Oh, you can get yourself a ruler if you want. Okay. I've always come accustomed to using my plastic scrapers. So there's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That was a little short. So we're going to roll from the center out. There. All right. So we got a mark there, a mark there, a mark there. Shrink it a little bit. Mark there, a mark there, a mark there. All right. So there's my marks for this way. All right. So now I'm just going to take my pastry knife. All right. So now we got 1, 1, 1. What I'm doing is I'm going to the edge and then coming in, making a mark. Going to the edge, rolling it, making a mark. Okay. I roll the edge, make a mark. And I have this mark and this mark, but then I'll find the happy medium in the middle there. And it looks like we're only going to get 6 crisps out of that. Okay. So now I'll just take my cutter. Boom. All right. Don't want to move them. Leave them right where they're at. Okay. Take your egg wash. Go around all 4 edges. I'm using this a little bit sparingly because I don't want to make up anymore. Want all 4 edges, kind of like when we made the turnovers on our second bake, similar to that. Okay, here we go. All right, let me catch up here. Good night, everyone. Oh my gosh, just you know what, everybody, another big hand for Marlon. Thank you so much, Marlon. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, and maybe when we meet up, hopefully it'll be a day after I do my bake, and I can bring you some of these goodies. Thanks, Marlon. I appreciate you. And Jess is going to reach out to you too. That's fantastic. And I know uh, someone else was too, which is great. Okay, so here we go. All right. So, oh, apple dumplings. I don't have enough puff pastry for apple dumplings. These I would need the smaller apples for these. I have smaller apples. Oh, that's weird. Hold on a second. Let me think. All right. You know what, Chris? I'm glad you came in the stream. Chris came in the stream just at the right time. Hey, look, everybody, we have smaller apples. All right, and this is a hand apple core. All right, so we're going to drive this right down through the center of our apple. I'm sorry, you guys can't see what I'm doing. All right, so you send it down and then pull it out, put it back in again, because you really want to get that whole core of that apple out. That's hard sometimes. And then just spin it. There it is. We got all that core out of that apple, okay? All right. So, the one thing that you do not have to do, some people say you have to do it. Some people you don't have to. You do not have to take the skin off of your apple. All right. What you want to do is take your apple, and this is a bigger apple. I'm going to find the biggest piece here. Put your apple right in the middle, just like that. All right. We do the same to this one. Take your core out. Turn it upside down. Get the rest of it out. I do have an apple corer peeler. I just didn't feel like getting it out tonight. All right, so now that's all clear. Look, guys, we're making different stuff. Woohoo! All right, upside down, right there. So what's next? Does anybody know? What do you do next? Okay, you take your cinnamon sugar, and from last time you all heard, I make my own cinnamon sugar. All right, and you want to fill the apple with cinnamon sugar. All right, I'm going to go find my sugar that I used earlier. It's right here. And one of the things that's really cool that most people don't keep in a kitchen is a funnel. I keep a funnel in my kitchen. All right, so I can do this. Just for that reason. But my sugar has lumps in it. So it's being a little difficult. So I'll do it over the trash can here. All right. So now we got our sugar, and we're gonna go ahead and put some cinnamon in it. And we'll shake it up. I don't buy cinnamon sugar. I make my own cinnamon sugar. Pay twice as much when you have to buy your own. I'm not going to put my shifter back on it. All right, so there's my cinnamon sugar. We're going to fill that, and we're not going to move it. After we fill it with cinnamon sugar, we're not going to move it. All right, just like that. Now I'll put my sifter top back on. Put that back on. Anybody knows me, I do run. I like to run a clean kitchen. So all that stuff will get wiped off. Okay, so here's what you want to do. It's real important. You want to get a good seal. So I'm just going to use a little bit more of the egg wash around the edge of the puff pastry dough. Do you always have to use puff pastry? No. I like using pie dough. But seeing that Chris said, hey, why don't we make some, make a puff pastry, apple dumpling. I'm like, okay. Is it filled with cinnamon and butter inside? No. The reason I'm not going to use butter is this is puff pastry dough. If I I could put a wedge of butter inside of that. But because there's shortening in the puff pastry dough, there's shortening in pie dough too. But the way the layers are here, it would break it down and it wouldn't let it do what it has to do. All right, so we're going to bring our corner up. We'll put it right in the middle. Bring this right in the middle. Bring all your corners to the center, okay? And then you're just going to pinch your outside pieces, and then you're just going to fold these over, just like that. So you bring your corner up into the middle, bring your corner to the middle, bring this one to the middle, this one to the middle, just like that. Pinch, pinch, okay? And then just let them lay on top. just like that. Again, this is puff pastry. It's not pie dough, so it's going to bake a little bit different. Still going to be delicious. Okay. Okay, we're just going to pick it up. Going to put it on our tray, just like that. All right. So, and again, because it's a dumpling, want to get some egg wash on it to give it some color. It's going to puff up. This, I'll tell you, this with 2 scoops of ice cream, and it's going to be delicious. Delicious. Marlon, you are a rock star. Yes, he is. Ian, what's going on, Ian? Welcome in. Thanks, everybody, for staying. I appreciate that. I don't even know how many people are here. And you all are here. All right, so now we're going to take this. We'll set this aside. And we'll take, I guess, a little bit of cinnamon sugar later. All right, we're going to do our crisps now. These are our puff pastry crisps. We're just going to take some apple, not too much because we want it to close up. Put it in the center. What other fruit? With the crisp, I would suggest maybe you could definitely use cherries in like a thick sauce, like a good cherry pie filling. You could use that, but you don't want to use as much because cherry seems to it's looser. It's gonna like want to weep out of the sides. You could do blueberry, and again, don't be afraid to make the crumb mixture that we made, and add the crumb mixture to the cherry and the blueberry. It helps stabilize the fruit. Um, Most definitely. All right, so that's gonna be a little tight. We'll see what happens. I need to take a piece off or two. I can. I don't want to overload it. All right. So now what we do with these is we do the same things we did with the other ones. We're just going to bring the edges to the center. And I don't know what time the maid is going to get here tomorrow, but she's not going to be happy. Actually, she's sleeping in the other room. No, 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 no. She doesn't clean up my messes. I'm just kidding. I have all this. I have all this to clean up and all this to break down before I get to lay my pretty little head on a pillow. Okay, so I would think you can use pears. Oh, you could definitely use pears. A peach, most definitely. Yes. Yes, definitely for the dumplings. Oh yeah, pears, peaches. You could take your pear. Once you get your pear, just cut it in half. Take your pit of your pear out, and then just take it with your knife and just cut it in layers, and then lay it on there. Actually, you could lay it on here upside down. Put some cinnamon sugar in the center with a little strip of butter, and then fold it up. Again, if you're using pie dough, I like using pie dough when I make stuff like that. All right, so here we go. We're going to take our edges in, okay, like an envelope. All right, there's your envelope. Now you're going to take this one, make sure you're covering your fruit, and make sure it seals. Pinch it if you have to. Okay. Now you're just going to turn it over. And you're going to lay it on your pan. Now these are going to bake faster than these, and I'll just make sure I pull them a little earlier. You want to bake these for at least 25 to 30 minutes. This will probably bake a little longer. You bake this until you can poke it with a toothpick, and it goes into your apple real easy. Okay. I'm glad you said something, Chris. I like that idea. And again, most of the time I make that with a little bit thicker puff pastry, but we had it, so we might as well use it. And that was my timer, so I'm going to check. It's a 15-minute timer. I'm going to check that. They don't have to look pretty. They just have to look like that. Egg wash the top for color, and then we're going to egg wash the dumplings again. Now I do have some extra egg wash, and I can use it all up. Da, 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 da. If anybody wants to come into the stream, um, do me a favor. Go ahead and just go ahead and put that in there now so Jesse can note that. And Jesse, let's see if a couple people want to come in and talk. That's cool. Ask questions, talk about stuff. Um, if not, that's fine too. All right, so that was 15 minutes on the first timer. Rinse my hands here. All right. Strawberry rhubarb. Strawberry rhubarb does weep a lot of liquid when it bakes. I wouldn't say you couldn't. Um, I I I didn't work a lot with strawberry rhubarb. I see it in the market a lot, but I never worked with it a lot, Katie. All right, so I'm gonna take my one knife that I had. I'm gonna bring it back over, and I'm gonna lightly score the top of these just to give them some definition. There you go. Definized. They're definized. Mm, those apples are good. Let's see what the strudel looks like after 15 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. Oh boy. I can do this. Look, this is halfway through the bake, guys. Look at that. Those look awesome. Look at that. Put them back in. So what I'm going to do to speed up my baking process, and I'm losing a lot of heat right now, just FYI, I'm going to put these at the top for a second. I'm going to put my other screen in. They're not at the tippy top. And then I'm going to put the other puff pastry right here. Actually, I'm going to put the strudel down. I don't want to get too much top heat on the strudel. I don't mind if I get top heat on the crisps or the dumplings. See, now can you see that? You can't see that, can you? No, here, hold on. Here. Now you can see it. There, yep. Oh, the center one. Thanks, Jess. Here we go. All right, so we're going to throw that back in there. We'll get our temperature back up. There we go. And we're going to go timer. Hey, Google, how much time is left? There we go. That says 10:38. I'm going to set a 15 for the other ones. Ta-da! Okay, let me adjust that camera a little bit. You can keep that right there, Jess. That's fine. I just want to adjust it as it came down a little bit on its own. Has a life of its own. So, hi everybody. So I appreciate you guys being here. So let's see. It does. It smells really, really good. It's going to be amazing. Awesome camera work. Jesse's done a great job. And again, our slicing little vents in the pastry. No, it's not. And the reason you do that is so the air can escape, Katie. Especially when you're working with puff pastry or pie dough. 1 second. If you don't, sometimes that air is gonna that air will get trapped in there, and the air wants to come out because it's just everything's moving up, and sometimes it'll break the seal on the side of your turnover or whatever, and that's why. Yeah, so yeah, definitely put put a marking in it to let the air escape. Um, so with that, like I said, let's hang out. We can hang out for another 15 minutes. I'm not going to do anything because I don't want to go away from the camera. And I do. I appreciate you guys being here. Baking is a lot of fun, and it's like anything else. If you enjoy it a lot, it's not a job. I enjoy it a lot. For 40 years. Was it a job? Sure. Baker's job was just like the commercial for Dunkin' Donuts. It's time to make the donuts. He's up at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, and he's time to make the donuts. And he's making donuts. Uh, but just it's no different than a surgeon or a seamstress or anybody else. Somebody details cars and or just look at stay-at-home moms. Look at all the stuff that they do 24/7. And it's not like they don't get to punch out. you know, Stay-at-home moms don't punch out. They are just moms all the time. And stay-at-home dads are the same way. But again, you love what you do. Do it. Again, if I didn't like doing this, uh, I wouldn't teach it. I wouldn't show people. So let's cover a couple of basics today of what we did, and I'll catch up with Chad in a sec. All right, so here we go. What pins do I have on my hat? Okay, so that's a good question. All right, so the pins that I have on my hat. Um, let's go to this camera so you can see them. Okay, so this is called this hat came with two black puffy things. I ordered it from Shop Disney, and when it came in, I cut the little black puffy things off. They were like the pom poms on roller skates, but these pins are hidden Mickey pins. There is a little hidden Mickey on each one of these, and they are skydivers. There's Skydiver Goofy, and Skydiver Donald, and Skydiver Mickey, and Minnie, and Skydiver Pluto. And I traded for these about I'm gonna say 6 years ago, and I got that's that was back when we could trade with cast members. And right now you can trade with cast members, but you're trading off of a board or off of a box, um, a mystery box where you pick two numbers, and if you like the pins that are in them, you can trade, and if you don't have to. But I want to get. I hope we get back to pin trading with the lanyards, because I think that's the best interaction for pin trading, and that's how I got all my pins I collected. Back then you could only get hidden Mickey pins if you traded with a cast member. Or you could trade with guests, but most guests don't trade. It's I don't know. It's not an unwritten. I've traded with guests before. I got a Cherubog, really really cool Cherubog pin. His wings actually extend. Um, and I traded him for one of my limited edition pins that I had on my lanyard. Usually when I wear my lanyards, I don't all my most of all my pins are locked onto my lanyards. I don't normally trade off my lanyards. 1 second. And I could do that. I mean, I could just wipe this down a little bit. Let me continue. Hey Annie, welcome. Good to see you. Hey, didn't break nothing today, Annie. How about that? Yeah, they are cool, Jonathan. I really like them. And while that's going on, I can grab one of my pin boards. Let me grab one of my pin boards. See, even though I'm off camera, I know you can hear me. So here's one of the pin boards that I had in the background. I made this pin board. I had this in the background for a couple of my first bakes. Let me adjust my camera. I think that'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. All right. So, nope. Let's do it. Let's do it this way. You know what? I don't need my tablet anymore. My iPod. So we'll just go here. And we'll use this camera because the light is there. All right, Jess, see if we can switch to that one. And I can see that. There we go. Okay, so let me set it down just for 1 second. Let me move this stuff off of here so I don't bust anything. So this was a picture frame that I bought. And then I got on YouTube and I learned how to gold leaf. So I gold leafed every corner. All these corners are all gold leaf. They're 8-karat gold leaf. I did them myself. They turned out, I think they turned out pretty good. And some of these pins are, a lot of these are my LEs or ones that aren't sold anymore. Let's see if I can shrink this up. Zoom in on a couple of them. Sorry about that. There we go. There we go. All right. So we zoom in. I don't know if you can see them that clear. But you got a couple really cool ones on here. This one isn't really doing this justice. But what I can do is cheat. One of the cameras I do use is my iPhone. All right, Jess. There we go. So that's that is, let me just fix my focus here. There we go. Go to here, go out. So that's Kermit. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? I keep forgetting where my camera is. And I'm trying to do this too fast. There we go. All right, so that's the conservation pin. This is a partner's pin. And I'm just going to zoom out because this is driving me crazy. That is oh, there you go. You guys will like this one. Hey, Google, stop timer. So this is a limited edition pin, Magic Kingdom, and that's the electrical light parade that's currently in California. A lot of these are limited editions. I wanted to switch. I'm going to switch my camera over. There we go. That's better. That electrical parade one is cool. The Australia. St. Patrick's Day. This one is a MGM Studios. Hollywood Studios used to be called MGM Studios. This is one of my favorites. 19. It's the 35th anniversary, 1985 Tinkerbell flight pin. Now, see, you all thought these statues were the first time that they thought about that. No, there was a whole set of pins that came out one year of these bronze gold statues. Here's one that most people don't know about. Pleasure Island. That was down Disney Springs. And then they had this one, the Internet Zone Innovations. This is one of my favorite pins. It does open. And it opens to fold down. And it's the bakery. All right. So my timer did go off, so we're going to just turn around here. We'll take a peek in the oven. Oh, can you hear that? Listen. Can you hear that? All right. Now what I'm going to do, I can check my puff pastry by just touching the sides. All right, we're going to give this another easy 5 minutes. Easy. We're going to reset our timer. Hey Google, set me a 15-minute timer. Right, there's a happy Halloween. Here's an old Buzz Lightyear. Narnia. Love that movie. Partners. Rock and Roller Coaster. It's supposed to be a box of noodles. This is one of my favorites. It's Fantasia. 50 years, 50-year anniversary. Happily Ever After. One of the best shows they ever did on Main Street. Selfie Day. This is when this pin came out, I had to have it. I don't even think Gonzo's ever seen that pin. Established. And today does anybody know? Oh, that's a good trivia question. Does anybody know whose birthday it is today? There's a Fantasia pin that's actually upside down. I'll have to fix that. Okay, so this pin board, I make these pin boards, guys. And I actually will be making pin boards to sell. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and set this back up. And so I can look at chat and read what everybody's saying. See, I can't even see what. Oh, look at that! It's the wrong way. I didn't spin it around. Pink. There we go. Sorry, guys. Ta-da! Thanks. Now it's tilted. Tilted. Anywho, I don't even know. Wow. So when my camera was that way, you got to look and see what a live production area looks like when you do multi cameras. It's exciting. It was more complicated before, but I've kind of simplified it. I can use this camera and go traveling, and I can show you. Can you put this camera on, Jess? There we go. So, of course, this is my kitchen. So here is my visual audio cart, and I have my Mac up top, which is getting that one picture. I have my monitor, see where I can see chat and all three of my streams, and then that's my ring light with my iPhone, which is wireless, and then I have my mixer for my sound system for my wireless mic. I have a stage light. I have my trouble box. And then I have over there, you see my iPad in my cabinet. And then this is just a tripod with a older Logitech 1080p camera on it. And that's that. So good job. Jesse's doing a great job. Thank you so much, Jess. Okay, so we're gonna once these come out. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna read chat. Okay, yes, it's Goofy's birthday. Correct. It is Goofy's birthday. Yep, 90 years old. Yeah, I was with one of the biggest Goofy fans today, and he didn't know it was Goofy's birthday. I was with him all morning. He's like, I don't know whose birthday is it. I said, you gotta be kidding me. You're a Goofy fan. That's okay. Yeah, he's a big Goofy fan. I'm a Tigger fan. So, but anyway, with all this being said, um, I'm my if as my channel continues to grow, and uh, I'm doing this because it goes back to the old saying: you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. You teach someone to fish, they eat for a lifetime. So that's why I'm doing this. I want to teach people how to bake, so they can teach people how to bake. It is a profession that is not sought after much anymore. All right, Jess. I'm moving the apple dumplings down to the middle now. Everything in here looks really good, but I want to get them in the middle. And I do have another timer set. Okay, what's the best camera for that? I know it's the iPhone. That's okay. I'll take it down again. I don't care. Definitely not that one. But you can have that one on it. All right, so there we go. All right, there you go, guys. That's your apple strudel. And I will tell you, it is filling this house with an aroma that is unbelievable. So this is the puff pastry one. One second. This is the puff pastry one. That's the phyllo dough one. And don't be scared that that's brown. No, no, no. Look, see now, yeah, now you're going, oh yeah, golden brown. Oh yeah. You see that crack? That's a good crack. That means it's done. It's done. Now, I will tell you, um, the one thing you want to cut these with is a serrated. Let me move my tripod here. So if you want to know what a recording area looks like from the back, and here's another one of my stage lights. And that is just a small stage light on a microphone stand. This is what the back of a production area looks like. You got all your stuff all draped all over the place. And then that's what it looks like. I still haven't cleaned up everything from my trip yet. All right. So what I was talking about, what you want to look at is you want to be aware that once you cut puff pastry, I'm looking for one of my better knives here. There we go. There's one. Yes, I have some tools. All right, so we're going to take this off of here. All right, so this is called a serrated edge knife. All right, and this is what we call in the baking area bread as a hard crust bread knife. All right, this is super sharp. We would use a knife like this to cut pumpernickel breads, rye breads, hearth breads, to get a nice clear cut. You don't cut puff pastry at all hot. Never, ever. Never. Um, Two Real Geeks, what's going on? I'll bring this back over to see if I missed anybody. Sorry, guys. Just bring my iPad back into view. So you want to make sure that your puff pastry is totally cool. I mean, it can't even be warm because you want all those layers to finish baking, okay? And you probably won't believe this, but most bakeries, once they bake puff pastry, they don't refrigerate it. It stays in what they call a dry cabinet. They'll cut the pieces and then they'll put them on a big cupcake liner upside down and they'll leave them in the dry cabinet because if you put puff pastry in the refrigerator, the moisture gets to it and makes it mushy. Same with the phyllo dough. Now, when you're going to go cut this, each of these, this is definitely in 8 pieces. I could cut this in 8 pieces and serve 8 people, right? When you cut this, make sure you use a serrated edge knife. And when you do, what you want to do is you want to mark it. Of course, measure it and mark. There's your middle spot, and then there's your middle spot, and then the middle of this one, and the middle of this one, and then you have 4 pieces here and 4 pieces here. Make sure as you cut, I'm not going to cut it, but make sure as you cut, you saw it like you're cutting a tree and saw it all the way through. Don't cut it on this baking pan. You'll pick it up, move it to a countertop. Don't if you cut across the top, you have to go really slow because it's going to start spewing little pieces of phyllo dough. If you try to cut it with a regular knife that you would cut meat with, nope, it's just going to mush down. So make sure you use saw. Hear that? Can you hear that? Listen. Ah, look at that. Sounds good. Nope, but I'm not going to cut it because it's still too warm. But what I will do on this one, but you know what I could do? Yeah, you know what? You guys have been here all night. You know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to eye this out. I'm going to show you. I'm just going to cut it in half. But I'm going to go nice and slow because see this, it's going to want to start giving. I'm going to have to put this up on the, hold on. Let me put this back up on here. I'll fix that, Jess. Hold on. I want to go real slow. Oh, that's so nice. I know I said don't cut on this, but I'm not going to go down too hard. Now it's going to understand it's going to have a hard bottom, okay, because it's a long bake. Oh, I'll get the camera and I'm going to show you guys that. All right. And if you notice, the puff pastry one started to collapse a little bit in the center. That's just because puff pastry it's not going to hold up that well with all that fruit. Oh my gosh, this looks delicious. All right, everyone. Look at that. Get my fat head out of the way. Hold on. Look at that. Does that not look delicious? And this is the puff pastry. Puff pastry dough is a little heavier, so it's going to collapse, but it's still going to be delicious. And that's the phyllo dough. So this is what you want to look at. This is what we were talking about earlier when I did layer upon layer upon layer, and that's just, does that not look like a bowl of ice cream? Oh, and some caramel sauce or cinnamon sauce. But yeah, that's how they turned out. They look they look nice. So let's look into the oven real quick. Okay. So what we got going on here is these crisps are done. All right. So I'm gonna put the camera up and I'm gonna pull the crisps. And just to let everyone know, I'm really appreciative that you hung out. And at any time, Jess, if you got to go, I get it. Um, it is getting late. If you have to go, just send me a message, and then I'll just readjust. We'll just go with one camera, because I'm just gonna just talk to people and then clean up once the stuff comes out. That's a little low. That's a little low. But thank you all for coming in. I really do appreciate the support. Um, I like. There it is. See, that timer is right on. See that? That's a baker's eye. All right, so let's get those out of the oven. And what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and put those onto here. Hey, Google, stop timer. Now, I appreciate you all hanging out. And I hope to grow this again when I get more consistent, because I'm sure a couple people may have come on and they saw that I wasn't. Oh, look at that! Oh, look at that! Look at that! It's actually, look. Can you see the steam coming out the top? See that? See that steam against my black shirt? So that's why I put those little cuts in the top, and some of the juice came out. Those are going to be really good. And again, I won't. No way am I putting these in the refrigerator tonight. No way. They'll just stay out here. They'll be fine. That's a little piece of apple. Got baked all by itself, all by its onesie. But I appreciate you guys staying and hanging out. Like I said, um, as I get better at the live performances and keeping things, you know what? No, the apples are still hard. So we're going to move them to the center, put them back in the oven. Now that these are semi baked, I don't want to bake them too hot. I don't want to burn it. So I'm just going to take the 360. We're going to give this another 10 minutes. Well, so let me catch up on chat. She is doing an excellent job. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Jess. I appreciate you. Um, uh, Thanks, Jess. Um, oh, thanks. Oh, thanks, Dave. Okay, so yeah. So it depends on what you like. If you like super super flaky, go go with the phyllo dough. Puff pastry dough is flaky too. You can do it either way. Like I said, I just wanted to do something different that I hadn't done, and my camera keeps tilting down. I do not know why. Let me go fix that. So there we go. That's better. All right. So they're there. So we're just going to set these over here. And we did just reset the timer. So we're going to let the timer do its thing. I'm going to grab a beverage here. Um, Move my big rolling pin. This is the behind the scenes stuff that you guys don't see. Is I've got stuff everywhere. And that's fun. There we go. I even have an HDMI cable in my hand that I don't need. Oh, so yeah, I mean baking. I mean, what can we do in the future? Oh my gosh, I mean, lots. Butter cookies, sugar cookies, chocolate chip cookies, Nestle Tall House cookies. Um, we're getting into the holidays, Easter cookies. Not Easter cookies, but Halloween cookies. I mean, Halloween cakes, Halloween layer cakes, multiple color Halloween cakes, checkerboard cakes. It's Have a wonderful day. Good night. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thanks. Um, I'll take suggestions. I mean, I've pretty much almost have baked everything. Um, so, and we can make a list and execute the list. Anyway, so where are we now? All right, we're oh, my battery on my iPad is going to not make it. Let me get my plug over here. So once I get this other cabinet built into this island, it's going to have receptacles on both sides. Islands should always have receptacles on both sides. There we go. Now we're charging. Okay, good. All right. Oh, definitely. Yeah, we could do a checkerboard. We could do a checkerboard layer cake. Those you know what? We'll definitely do a Halloween orange. We can do an orange flavored, orange colored yellow cake with chocolate. We'll do a double chocolate with an orange flavored checkerboard layer cake for Halloween. And then what we'll do is we'll take chocolate ganache, and then we'll take chocolate ganache with white ganache, and we'll color the white ganache orange, and then we'll pour that over the sides. How's that sound? All right, that's what we'll do. That's definitely a prep cake. So like we'll have to do that in steps. Um, that'll probably be 2 times in 1 week. We'll probably go maybe on a Tuesday night or a Friday night, depending on where Halloween falls. We'll definitely do it the week before. Um, we can do dark chocolate. Yeah, you can do dark chocolate bark with fruits and nuts. Um, you can. It's not that difficult. Dark chocolate. What the way I do dark chocolate is I usually get a 10-pound bar from a bakery, and or I know of a bakery. I haven't met any bakers down here yet, I'll find one that they usually have big bars of chocolate, and I just go in with my butcher's knife and I lay it on its side, and then I just scrape it, and I scrape ribbons, and then I break the ribbons, and it looks like bark. And then what I'll do is I'll ice my cake with a thin buttercream, not too thick. And then what I'll do is I'll take my chocolate and I'll melt a little bit of my chocolate down, and I'll just like put it on with my decorating bag, and then I just sweep the layer cake up, and it looks like bark, like of a what's that tree called? Like a white ash tree. And then what I do is I take the chocolate pieces and I put them on the sides, and then you can take the fruit and the nuts, if that's what you're talking about. You can take fruit and nuts. You could actually put that in the batter if you wanted to, or you could just decorate it through the top, and you get some really nice glazed fruit pieces, um, some currants, some golden raisins, some dark raisins, um, some uh, a couple different kinds of nuts, two or three different kinds of nuts, pecans, cashews, macadamias, or something. Sure, you can do a lot of stuff. I've seen a lot of it. Wow. But through the years, you know. All right, so we're about ready to take these dumplings out. I'm gonna just reach in and check with my toothpick here. Almost, maybe another 3 minutes. Almost 3 or 4 minutes. And if anybody was asking, this is a whirlpool. Um, this is a convection microwave oven, and this is a regular oven with a uh, professional broiler on the top. And then over here, I have another convection microwave oven that I can bake and or just heat stuff up in. Um, so while we got a couple minutes, yard sale, $5. This is what I used to come to the park with. Excuse me. These are some of my pins. Let's see. Let's see if I can get. Once we get done with the dumplings, we'll probably call it a night. Can you give me a dual screen, and we can use this one too, Jess? Please. Okay, so this is the Pinocchio Legacy Collection. This 1 second. This came out marked wrong. It says limited release, but it's actually a limited edition. I love Pinocchio. This is a recent Pinocchio. His little arms. Whoop, whoop. His arms and legs move. See, that's the only thing with this camera. This camera just drives me crazy. There he is. See, it wants to focus, I think, on my fingers. There he is. There he is. There he goes. And then this is from the ink and paint collection. It's Peter Pan. The Penguins from Mary Poppins. This is Christmas 2020. This is one of my favorites. Splash Mountain. Let's see. What other special ones do I have in here? Oh, I like this one. This is from Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. It's the toy soldiers and drum. This is a dangle. This is a bicentennial from 1976, which was the 35th anniversary of Walt Disney World. And it's Chippendale. Let's see if I can hold it. There we go. Why is that not want to focus? There. There you go. Wow. There you go. And then that says 35, and it's a dangle. That's a limited edition. This was the first release pin from the Disney Wander, the ship, the Disney ship. And this is actually what the back of the ship looks like. He's on the back of the ship, and he moves back and forth, and he moves. So it's one of his nephews cutting the rope. He's cutting the rope with the scissors. There's another one of my Pinocchio pins. And when he's wishing upon a star, him and Jiminy. Now, the thing is, I could do this for an hour. It's just, literally, I have layers upon layers upon layers of pins and lanyards, and this one says, this is Jiminy Cricket's award, and it says official conscience, and it says 18 karat gold, and it actually has him in the center of it, and then it swoops down, and it's a little magnet over there on the side. When it swoops down, it locks right there. So, so this is all part of, this will all be part of what I'll be building and putting together. And this is a Lady and the Tramp. It's a limited edition Lady and the Tramp lunchbox pin, and it opens up. And of course, what are they eating for lunch? Spaghetti. So this camera's like better if it's like right up in your face. Look at that. I'll have to remember that next time. That way I won't use my iPhone. Oh, this is one I like. This is one of my favorites. I picked this up this year. Red, white, and blue. So and I got lanyards in here and stuff like that. But when I talk about my collection, I have a collection. Some people collect shoes. I collect pins. Yeah. So yeah, I love that Wander pin, Jonathan. You don't see too many of those anymore, unless there's maybe a son or daughter that's broke into mom and dad's pin collection and got some of their pins so they could go trade today. All right, so I did forget about this. There they are. Those are your apple dumplings. And what you see coming out from the outside is the juice, and it's still gooey, so I always like just to put it right back on top. That's the cinnamon sugar that came out, and some of the juice. I like just to put that right back on top, and it is scalding hot, guys, scalding hot, but it'll melt back on top. Maybe this camera. Okay. Oh, he's a little stuck there. All right. But we're still going to take this cinnamon sugar. Oh, look at that. It's so gooey. I'll show you. See how gooey. Oh, look at that gooey. It's so gooey. I'm just going to put it right back on top. And it's so hot, it'll just keep melting right off of it. Okay. Just be really careful when you do this because sugar burns are no fun. No fun at all. All right, we're just going to get that off of the spatula like that. All right, so we're going to transfer these over onto the other pans. Let me bring the other pan over. Then I'll bring the iPhone down and we'll get a departing picture, if you will. There we go. I'll be right back. Glad I go in late tomorrow. All right. Oh, so the toothpick trick is just the toothpick has to go into any apple. There's no resistance in the apple because you want that apple to be nice and soft. So when you so when you pour the ice cream and put it in there. All right, let me remove this. I'm going to just put it in the microwave to cool. No, not. I'll put it down here. Let me move some of my items. I'm going to grab the iPhone and then we're going to end the stream. I need to get something to drink. Excuse me. Thank you. Again, thanks for hanging out. Let me grab the phone. Woohoo! Dad from Encanto. All right, let's turn this bad boy around. All right. So, thank you all for staying so long. If you came in and you're watching this on Team Replay, um, you know what? I think we did a fantastic job. Let me put some light on the subject here. So, just in review, we have phyllo dough apple strudel, Granny Smith apples. We made a crumb mixture out of cake donuts that were rolled in cinnamon powdered sugar. We used that mixture inside of the apples with cinnamon and some sugar. This is puff pastry rolled. These are two Granny Smith smaller apples, and they have puff pastry with cinnamon sugar down inside the core. And these are apple crisps. And these have the same filling as these do, but these were about a 4-inch or 5-inch square. And then we put the apple filling inside with some cinnamon sugar, egg washed the edges, folded them up, flipped them over, put little cuts in them, and that's how we did that. Thank you, Debbie, so much. I appreciate that. Right? Yeah. Well, I would enjoy the company, that's for sure. You know, um, I'm just going to turn the camera around here real quick and just say to everyone, I appreciate you. Oh, I moved my hand. I appreciate you very much. I am Chris, the Disney Baker, and we love the bake here, but I also like uh, doing my Disney pin boards and working with my Disney pins and my Disney collectibles. I thank you so much for your support. I appreciate all my subscribers very, very much. And I'm glad you're here. And thanks for supporting the other channels. And a big shout out to my mods today. And, you know, Jess, thank you so much for stepping in. Just keep Gonzo in your thoughts. He has a heel spur. Um, he had to go to the doctor today. And when we left the park, he went right to the doctor. And he's having, some issues. So he was leaving it elevated with ice tonight. So I appreciate you just so much. Katie Y, thank you so much. Again, great thumbnail. I loved it. Thank you. Katie is my technical producer, and Jess is one of my executive producers. I don't say assistant, but executive producer. She did a great job. She does a fantastic job. So, and everybody stop in. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thanks for being supportive to my channel and other channels. So, I always finish the same way. TTFN, ta ta for now. Peace, love, and pixie dust hugs. Pixie dust hugs will have to do until we meet in person. Thank you very much. My name is Chris. I am the Disney Baker. Have a wonderful today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Good night and good morning. It is good morning. Thank you. So long. I guess I have to end that. So I'm gonna go over here, and I'm in the wrong hand. So this is the laptop. I have to go up here and hit this button. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Where is my? There it is. All right. So guess what, guys? Now that I've hit the button, it's right there. I'm gonna end the broadcast. Thanks again. So long.